So the Economic Crime and Corporate Transparency Act. So this is something which has been bubbling under for a while. A lot of us have been hearing about it, talking about it. It seems that there have been delays in the implementation, and it seems that even now things are going to come in a phased way. Now, my understanding of this, just breaking it down for people, is that what exactly is it? It's giving Companies House teeth. I think that's always been my understanding of it, that for what, Companies House was just a passive depository of information, would never challenge. It would take everything filed there in good faith. But of course, that's open to abuse. So steps have been taken by successive governments to try and increase its powers, increase the levels of regulation. So what's the latest? So Joshua, you've been looking at this. So what do you think? What's happening now?
Yeah, so I mean, one of the main parts is directors essentially verifying their identification with Companies House. Very important. It reduces fraud. It reduces any kind of, lies to Company House. Essentially, it's more or less just to make sure that they are who they say they are.
Yeah.
It's very important, of course.
And then, of course, that extends also to the persons with.
So the people who actually the people who actually can
people
do the
with
filing
significant
as
control,
well.
And so people with significant control and those doing the filing.
Yes. So we've got the three different kind of I don't know a collective noun for three interested parties in Companies House and companies. So you've got the directors themselves.
Yeah.
So now we need to know who they are, and that needs to be proved and verified. Mm-hmm. We need to know who's actually in control of each company, because there's some work has been done on that. So it's not just automatically the shareholder. It can't assume that. Yeah. So the person has significant control. And then also the people who are making the filings. Mm-hmm. Now, we've all filed forms in our careers. I'm sure you filed loads, I've filed loads. You've probably done as well. And, no one ever challenges it. So now there's going to be some regulation around and some rules around who can actually file on behalf of a company. So we kind of understand why this is essentially a good idea, just to tighten things up and make sure that everyone involved is who they say they are. And no fraud's going on, money laundering as well, because that's usually the driver for all of this. So how's it going to work practically?
So there's different ways of doing the verification. So directors or any other associate people can either do it on their own accord, or they can have someone else do it on their behalf. I'm gonna have to research.
I think did I hear
corporate services provider.
Yes, exactly. So there are ways around. So anyone who needs to do this can get it done. But who's checking the checker? How is this? Someone says, "Oh, what do you have to provide?"
So you need, of course, photo identification. So your passport, driver's license. Then you would also be required to verify, your residential address. So it'd be, again, if you haven't used your driver's license for your photo ID.
Yeah.
You could use that, or it could be, utility bills, etc. The usual KYC.
So stuff people would actually be familiar with.
Yeah.
But this is a new thing though. Mm-hmm. Directors never used to have to do this.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're going to need some people sometimes to help. But as you say, the onus is actually on the director themselves, though, isn't it, to really do all of this?
I mean, with most, governance considerations, it will probably fall to company secretaries to assist them with it. I've had experience in other jurisdictions where I've had to do similar kind of verification, and I've essentially ended up doing it either alongside the director or for them.
Okay.
So I think it's if that does happen to be the case, then it would obviously the person doing it would need to make sure that everything is.
So any director watching this would realise that yes, the onus is on you, but that help is available.
Yes,
exactly as you'd expect. So what are the other jurisdictions you have experience of then?
India and Germany.
Okay, all right. So now, I don't really have much experience of either of those jurisdictions. Now, my understanding with Germany is they don't have a centralised situation. It's like a federal approach.
Yeah, yeah.
I can remember that. And India, now I imagine it's loosely based on UK.
Yeah.
So you tell me, because you've worked with these.
So, I mean, India, whew, they are very harsh, very, they're more
Okay.
very straight to the point.
Yeah.
Their regulations are heavy. I'll be
Yeah.
honest with you. Their verification, yeah, there's so many different layers to it.
Yeah.
You know, they do ID verification. They do video verification. They send texts and
Right.
verification codes to email addresses, phone numbers, etc.
Mm.
So their checks are very much down to the points, to the point where they have in the past asked for your local police station to verify your
Really?
your
Wow.
residence address.
Okay.
So they are very thorough,
All
to say
right.
the least.
Do you think the UK regulators, the government essentially, have looked at India, exactly, as an example of how a company a country that's gone down that route of sort of heavy regulation, if you like?
You could say so.
Okay, so you say there's a level of inspiration.
Yeah, I would say so. But hopefully, hopefully they don't take such a harsh approach.
No, okay. Well, I think maybe not. But then,
Yeah.
so the companies that you've had experience of,
Yeah.
Joshua, in India, are they actual Indian companies, should we say, or are they subsidiaries of subsidiaries of what, UK businesses? Okay, so a UK business wants to set up a subsidiary in India.
Yeah.
There are some hoops to go through.
There's a lot of hoops to go through.
Okay, but you've got experience of getting companies through that, navigating that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what's the biggest challenge?
The biggest challenge is with India because they are so thorough with everything they do.
Yeah.
Every single thing needs to be precise, needs to be up to date, needs to be more or less ready for when they need it by.
Okay.
Challenges with that is if things are not updated when they should be or not easily accessible, it can cause delays.
Yeah.
Whether, it's starting any sort of trying to get any trading to get to moving over there, they require a lot of KYC stuff.
Okay.
And, it could be verification of directors, verification of PSCs, verification of, parent entities, etc., etc. They are heavily paper.
I was going to say, how much of this is electronic, how much of it's paper?
Yeah. Everything near enough everything needs to be executed wetting.
Right.
Near enough everything. They do have a process over there where they can use a digital signature, which is a great thing, of course. So that can kind of cut down on a lot of the paperwork. However, a lot of the time, a lot of documentation is required from their part to do the simplest transaction. So it might not be as easy as you would find it conducting business in the UK.
Okay.
So with that being said, you need to be very thorough. Records need to be up to date and just easily
Do you need to
accessible,
be
say the least.
go into this with your eyes open? Because let's face it. So there's a reason why a company might want to set up another company in India.
Yeah.
We don't have to go into that now, but to do that, you've got to be prepared to do some hard work to just turn the lights on, essentially. Yeah. So before we go on to Germany, overseas jurisdictions, Lisa, you've had experience of.
I haven't had a lot of experience.
It's all right. Only have
Ireland mainly, and a little bit of experience in the US.
Okay, so how is Ireland different?
My main role really was working with the CoSec in Ireland rather than doing anything directly.
Okay, well, because from my experience with Ireland, it's not that dissimilar, but I do remember that this is going back quite a while now, but a financial services company setting up an Irish subsidiary and moving quite a lot of the business there because, well, for various reasons, but mainly for tax reasons. That was the main reason. But what they didn't realise was how heavily regulated Ireland was. So that is something which, there's various reasons why companies have companies in different jurisdictions to take advantage of more favourable tax or other regulatory regimes or something or whatever, but there can be unintended or unknown hazards which lurk beneath. So that was one that I do remember. Okay, well, I wasn't trying to put you on the spot. I was just giving you a chance in case there was. So we can cut that. It's all right. Germany. What is it like working? Well, what's company law like in Germany, if it exists at all, as we know it or would recognise it?
Do you know what? Germany company law is, as you would expect, very strict. It's very, they are very, very detailed to say the least. It's actually a lot easier to navigate than you would expect. However, things, are very, very straightforward, very direct, it's just heavy stipulation.
Right.
It's not as tricky as you would think.
Right.
Yeah.
But you just have to know the rules.
Yeah.
And be prepared to do as you're asked.
Basically.
So you don't think there's much room for flexibility there, or
No, I wouldn't say so. No, not.
Again, this is all important to know, isn't it? Because you might think, okay, we'll probably get away with that. No, you won't. If you want to set up a company here, you've got to play by their rules. And I suppose that some jurisdictions will be a little bit more lax.
Yeah.
And in the UK, I suppose, has been for a while, and that's all changing, which is what we started off talking about here.
Yeah.
So what else do we need to know about this new act? Am I right? I am right in saying that it's a phased approach, isn't it? Things are coming in.
Yeah,
in
some
phases.
things came in March of last year. The next big change is going to be this director's verification.
Yeah. So that would be basically people are able to verify their identity with the company's house from April. I believe it's the 8th. April 8th. That's when
I think it was the 25th of March, and it's been moved out to April.
Yeah.
So whether it comes in April or not, remains to be seen.
So if you're a current director, okay,
Yeah.
you're on the board of a company at the moment. Do you need to do all of this?
So from August 25, that is, I say August. I need to double check that. It's around autumn time.
Okay.
Autumn.
Okay.
25
So
is,
that means January 26, probably.
Yeah. So they need to, essentially, that's when they need to start doing it.
Okay. So existing directors.
Yeah.
So at the moment, are we just talking about new directors?
So the guidance is more or less everyone should. The best practice is more or less everyone should do it.
Yeah.
From when the time opens from April.
Yeah.
It's voluntary from April and will become compulsory from autumn.
Right. So okay.
Yeah. And then from autumn 25 to autumn 26, that's the time frame where it needs to be done.
Okay.
So that's the mandated time frame.
Okay. So what happens if you don't do it?
Well,
Does it mean you're not allowed to be a director of a UK company?
yeah, there's fine. You can get fined by Company's House. You may even be removed from the register. Essentially, there will be penalties for the business and the directors.
So I'm just trying to think what it means for someone who's actually a director of a company at the moment and doesn't know about any of this stuff.
Yeah.
I presume they're going to get letters or emails or however it is from Company's House saying you must do this.
Yeah.
But they might think, well, or what? I mean, this is the thing. But so there are going to be proper penalties.
Yeah.
Essentially, you're not allowed to be a director. Is what it's going to come down to, isn't it? Because I don't see the point in. I suppose it's like filing your accounts late. You keep increasing the fines, and it gets to a point where the company gets struck off. So maybe are we looking at something like that, perhaps?
Could be the case. You could also see that accounts, for example, or just general statutory forms might be rejected. On the basis,
I see.
On the basis that the person
I suppose
submitting isn't verified. So, I mean, it then falls down to it ranges then to other people. So, if it's not a director doing the filing, if it could be the company secretary or the ACS or the CoSecs assistant, even finance directors, or basically anybody doing the finance. It doesn't matter.
So there is an operational reason to do all of this because it means that you need to be able to operate, you need to be able to carry on as a company, and part of that is making your filings to Company's House, and so the people doing that need to be able to do it essentially. So there is a purpose. It is all tied up. There's a reason for doing this, but apart from just trying to prevent fraud.
Yeah.
My understanding as well is directors only need to verify their identity once.
Right.
So if they're a director of multiple companies,
okay.
they don't need to verify their identity for every company where they're a director. They just need to verify it once, and then that will cover all of the companies they're a director of.
But is it all linked? Because from my experience, though, it depends, isn't it? Because people get appointed for over a 20-year period, different companies, and it's not always linked.
No, I don't know how that's going to work
No,
from
I
a
don't
company's
know.
house perspective. If you've got a director who is maybe David Smith, and then in another company he's David Michael Smith,
Exactly.
how company's house will link that they are actually the same person, I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, well, that is some work they're going to have to do.
Yeah. So then again, I guess that's important to now make sure that all your registers are up to date correctly. Make sure that the registrar has your details correctly as it's reflected, in the business registers, etc. So I guess it then raises the point of businesses kind of just auditing their records, and making sure that everything's consistent.
Or actually holding registers in the first place, which is what a lot of companies don't do. And so, companies are in breach of the Companies Act already and continue to be, and see it as just a normal part of business operations. Now is the time to take stock of all your companies in your group, get all the registers up to date, because you're going to have to do this. Otherwise, things are going to start going wrong, and getting expensive for you, and getting very awkward for you. So it is time for companies to actually take stock of where they are, come up with, get your registers finalised, and then get all your people verified at Companies House.